Nice. Yeah.
Casual.
Yeah.
Anyways, hi again. So
Hi.
glad that you're down to talk more reality pop culture crap with me.
Always, always. I mean, it's what I talk about pretty much by myself anyway. So nice to have someone else to talk to about it. So
No, it's really funny. My boyfriend was like, "Can I watch with you today?" And I was like, "No, I have to like actually pay attention." And you'll be like fucking around and like talking about something random. And I was like, "Absolutely not. Like I need to focus." And he just
yeah.
looked at me like I was insane. And I was like, "Okay, anyways."
Oh, I took notes. Like I literally like I took notes.
So
So
my biggest fear, and it's the meme that's going around like crazy, is about how they all the guys look alike. And I don't actually think they look alike, right? But if you asked me what one of their names was, couldn't tell you.
oh, I know. I was actually gonna say I was like maybe I should pull up like all of their names.
Profiles?
So bad at
Yeah.
so I'm like, hold on, actually let me do this. Love is Blind.
Same.
Season 8 cast. So like when we're talking about people, because I'm like, I don't know any of these people. Like I don't know their names.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
From the ones who made it, because I'm just gonna jump in with what I actually care about. From the
Yeah.
ones who made it to
Like thus
Honduras.
far.
What'd you say? Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. The one
okay.
thus far, right?
Yeah.
Like no spoilers.
Yeah.
Which I haven't read. Like a very. Have you read spoilers?
I know one spoiler, but only because I saw it on a comment on someone's TikTok video and I was like, bro, but I don't know about anybody else except for like this one couple. So like, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with only talking about the couples that have made it to Honduras and made it back, because
Yeah.
shockingly, you know what's weird? I feel like none of the couples broke up on like in Honduras, which I feel like sometimes happens. You know what I mean? Like they break up
Sometimes
during that part.
yeah, sometimes we do have a couple or two that like call it quits when they're on the vacay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like okay, I'm just gonna like make a bold statement, but that's what this is, literally, bold, whatever.
Yeah.
If you don't fuck in Honduras or like when you're on the vacay, that's like you're done. It's done. Like you have to. I think that it's like in any relationship, you have to break the like sex barrier
Weird.
because
Yes.
when you have sex with somebody, you're not fully comfortable with that person. Like they need to be
1000%.
naked. Like they got to get up in there, man. Like it's just one of those things where it's like you have to just like break that because until you do, like you're still strangers.
Yeah.
So
100%.
the people that didn't get it while they were on, in
On
Honduras,
vacation. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're done. Like as far
Well,
as I'm concerned.
so to be fair, when what's his face Dave was asking everyone if they'd had sex, wasn't the only couple that said they had Joey and Monica? Did
Yeah,
anyone else? Has anyone else had sex? I thought that was the only one.
I don't believe so. I think wait, hold on, let me look at my chart here of people. I think wait, what's his name? Who's who? Okay, hold on. Hold on, let me
Search Love Island rather than Love Is Blind. That's my life.
I'm watching that too. Wait, hold on, sorry. I think what's his name? Was it
Who is he with?
Virginia. Virginia and who's her
Devin, the NBA player, girl
yeah.
dancer or
I
whatever.
think
Yeah,
Virginia and Devin might have had sex while they were there.
they're not going to tell you.
Devin, right?
Yeah, they're not going to tell you.
But I'm not sure.
Okay, I would agree with that. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think here. Where's the cast? I don't think. Why can't I just get a cast list? Oh, that's what I was going to ask. Who's your favorite couple? Like rank them in order from favorite to least favorite as of episode 8. Just for everyone's awareness, we're only talking through episode 8 because that's all that's come out.
Yeah. Okay.
And why?
So okay, so it was up until like the last like 10 minutes of episode 8, it was Sarah and Ben because I do think that they seemed like they had a lot in common. They were very
Okay.
like playful and cute and like sweet together. Then of course this whole thing comes out about him potentially ghosting this girl. And like she put out that whole I don't know, this TikToker put out a
Talked
video
about it. Yeah.
or like whatever, which they talk about on the show. I don't know. And I have mixed feelings about that too, because my whole thing is like, okay, A, is this girl just doing this for clout? Like, B, if this was actually 4 years ago, why does she still care?
Yeah.
C, like, if I'm with any man and he tells me he's never ghosted someone, that's a lie. Like, that's a
Sure.
flat out lie.
Right.
And I would also think it's weird. Like, I would, like, at this point in my life, like, I'd be like, we've all ghosted people. I've ghosted
I've
people.
ghosted people. That's normal at this point.
I'm not like not like proud of it, but it's like we've all like, dude, it's not a big deal. Like sometimes it's just way easier to ghost someone after one date than have to break up with somebody. Like, who cares, you know?
And is it ghosting after one date? Because I personally, unless we're like 5+ dates in, like that's just going on dates with people from the dating apps.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just want to feel like if you go on a first date, you go on one date and it like doesn't hit, I don't think you owe anyone a text the next day to be like, had a great time. It just isn't really what I'm looking for. Whatever. Like, we don't need to get into that if like it's been one date with someone. It's like 2 hours out of your life. Like, who cares? So
no, I think it was definitely a clout chasing move on her part, which I also think is the same case with what's his face, Lauren's guy, right? Who's like the situation.
Dave.
What?
Dave.
No. The guy. Well, yes, Dave's the guy, Lauren's guy from prior to the show. Yeah. That it's like, yeah, I get it. You found out your prior whatever. And to be fair, like if I had been dating someone and then they went on a show, yeah, I might like drunk text them when they came back. I'd want the tea. I'd want to know. Like I'd be bored.
Of course. Yeah, why not? I think my friends would probably encourage it. They'd be like, just slide into his DM, see what he says. Like, what the hell?
Exactly. Like find out if he actually got married. Like let's just check around. Like that would be hilarious.
Yeah, totally. Like I don't know. I don't necessarily blame Lauren's former fling or whatever we want to call it for doing that. But whatever. I mean, we can get into Dave. I don't know how we want to like.
There's a whole conversation,
but Dave is like a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But okay, to answer your first question, yeah. So I thought that Sarah and Ben were my favorite couple up until the last like 10 minutes.
Okay.
And I want to believe Ben because, like I said, I think everyone has ghosted someone before. It's not that deep. It's not that big of a deal, especially after one date. However, was it only one date? Was it 4 years ago? I don't know. Is he telling the truth? I don't know. We don't know.
He's more issues with him about the Black Lives Matter stuff.
That shit was really weird too. Obvious.
Right. Like that just to me, how she can just overlook, like I have a lesbian sister. I pretty much don't go to church, but yet, yeah, our values are aligned.
Right.
Like she literally said that straight face to his friends. She's like, our values are definitely aligned, like similar.
Yeah. I don't remember how old he is, but I think he's in his 30s. Let's see if I can pull this up on here. Is that him? No.
Okay, so who's your new favorite? He's 30, exactly.
Okay, 30. Okay, so I like absolutely love Daniel. I think that he is like so sweet.
Yeah.
And my thing is that I don't know if Taylor's attracted to him.
Right. Or is that just her personality though? Because even when she couldn't see him, that was kind of the way she acted.
That's true. That's fair. I know that obviously in her, well, I don't know if you want to call it like a confessional or her interview, whatever, she did say like, oh, he's like shorter than most guys that I would date, which like, okay. How, like, I understand. I don't know how tall she is, but I understand for you since you're really tall. Like, obviously, you need to date a guy that's really tall. Like, fair. For someone like me who's 5'4", if the dude is 5'8", it's not ideal. But I'm not gonna be like, no. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's silly because it's like he's still. Most dudes are taller than me. You know what I mean? Right. So whatever. I think that he is like obsessed with her, which I love to see. And he keeps like emphasizing like how he wants to take care of her. And like even what she said to his parents, how she was just, or was it her parents? I don't remember. How she was like, he kept using phrases like, I'll be there for you, or like, we'll do this together, or whatever. And I was like, that's like so sweet. Like, that's a good dude, you know?
No, he's amazing. And I really do like him.
Yeah.
Do you believe that he followed her on Instagram and then unfollowed her?
Probably. But like, my thing with that is also who gives a shit. Like,
right.
Like random people. I mean, they live in a small, I mean, again, Minneapolis, from what I understand, is like a small, big town, right? Like everyone kind of knows everyone. It's not like us here in LA where like, I've never run into an ex. I think maybe I run into a person I've dated one time in my entire existence. Yeah, okay. Same. Like, you don't see, like, it doesn't happen in a big city.
You run into a situationship every other week though.
That could happen, yes. But like,
no, your situation, you will be at the bar the next day.
Yeah, but it's just like, I don't know. So I think it's not that weird for a guy to follow a girl
Follow a pretty girl. Like,
exactly, like, he thinks she's hot, he follows her, and maybe he unfollowed her because he was like, "I'm never gonna talk to her," like, whatever, you know, or whatever.
right,
And, like, I highly doubt, like, how could he have known that they casted her?
right.
He had never heard her voice before, right? I mean, I guess unless he watched every reel she's ever possibly posted. Like,
No,
even then, I think you don't recognize someone's voice unless you really know them.
no. And it's like Taylor is a fairly common name. Being a
Yeah,
nurse is a fairly common profession. Like, I guarantee you there's another Taylor who's a nurse in Minneapolis, if not 10.
totally.
So,
So,
like, that felt like a stretch. And I feel like, do you think she was using that as an excuse to get out of it?
I kinda do. I kinda think that she was a little shell-shocked when she saw him, and I don't think she wanted to admit that.
But
And
I do think he's cute. I think he's cute besides, like, the
he's
height thing.
he's very attractive. I
And
was
he's, like,
looking at
emotionally intelligent.
yes, and I was looking at his face, and I was like, "This is a hot face. Like, this
Yeah,
guy is attractive." And his
yeah,
family was attractive too. His brother,
right.
hot. His dad, hot. His
Hot,
mom, super cute. I'm like,
beautiful. Yeah.
"These are good genes." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm
Whereas
just
I'm
like
looking at Taylor's parents and I'm like,
exactly. Like, I'm like, "She just got lucky." Like, we don't
right.
know. Sometimes it happens. I and, like, I loved how his parents were, like, so supportive too. Like, that's really I love to see that on the show when, like, the parents are actually like, "Yeah," because and that's something I also wanted to ask you, like, how do you think your parents or your friends would react if you went on Love Is Blind and you were like, "I'm getting married"?
So funny you should say that. I don't know if you know this. I was supposed to start filming a reality show this January.
No.
Yeah, so you know Alon Gale, who was the producer for The Bachelor?
No, but sure. Yeah,
Okay,
but I
so
know
he's
The
the producer
Bachelor. Yeah,
he's the
yeah.
producer for The Bachelor for, like, 10 years, and now he has his own production company called Year of Alon, and he does Fuck Girl Island, Fuck Boy Island or
Oh, Alon. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I thought you said Alana. Yes, Alon, of course. They're
Yeah,
all
yeah,
friends and stuff too. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so after I made that post, like, 2 years ago saying I'd pay $5,000 for a husband, I ended up getting contacted by a whole bunch of production companies and ended up talking to him, and he was like, "We'd love to do a dating show, but it'll be, like, do it in, like, 8 different cities or 5 different cities or whatever, and you'll date 3 men in each city. It'll be like The Bachelor, except that you're going to be the people that you date will be people recommended by people in each of these cities. So, like, you go to Minneapolis, people in Minneapolis can nominate their 3 most eligible bachelors. You go to Atlanta, whatever. And whoever you end up picking is going to get $100,000 because they referred you to the guy that you ended up marrying.
Okay.
It's gonna take place over like 6 or 8 weeks, and they were pitching it around, and then I got a boyfriend. Like, every time we'd have these calls, like, once a month, and, like, every time they'd start the call, they'd be like, "So how's dating going?" And I'd be like, "Still single." And then,
Yeah.
like, literally one time I had to be like, "Okay, so, guys, I have a boyfriend." But the point of that was I had to do all these, like, psychological tests, and I had to have all these conversations with my parents about, like, would they be comfortable being on it? Would they be comfortable being interviewed? Would they be comfortable with all this stuff?
Yeah.
And my dad was just like, "Yeah, that's fine. Like, no worries, whatever." He's like, "If it makes you happy, it makes my happy." Like, he was the parent that you like on Love Is Blind, right? My
Yeah.
mom, on the other hand, was like, "Absolutely not. Do not put me on a camera. No, like, I will disappear."
Yeah. I actually don't know. I really don't know. I think my parents would be fine with me doing it because, like, let's be real. At this point in time, I put my whole life on the internet, so
Right.
they
They
would
know.
be. I mean, this is just like a hop, skip, and a jump
Our
at this. Yeah. Plus, if it actually meant that I would like get married, they'd be like, "Please, whatever it will
right.
take at this point." Like Jesus, you know.
We'll
Um.
see, actually.
Yeah. Like literally. But I don't know how they would feel being on camera
Yes.
themselves.
That's the tricky part because it's like they didn't sign up for that. And,
Totally.
like, and also, like, you have to understand, or, like, not you have to understand, but people have to understand that, like, the internet, if you're not used to being on, like, you and me have trolls saying whatever all the time, right? But if you're
Yeah.
not used to that, do I want my house scrutinized by randoms? Do I want what I wore in this one clip scrutinized? Do I want, like, the way I talked or the edited, like, all of that? Like, I mean, even, like, now my boyfriend sometimes reads the comments on my TikToks or my Instagrams, and he's literally like, "How do you do this?" He's like,
Yeah.
"People just, like, call you a cunt all day." And I'm like,
I,
"Oh, yeah,
I know. It's crazy.
so it's fine."
Yeah,
I'm
you're
used
like,
to it.
"Oh, cool, Tuesday, whatever."
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know it's nuts actually, but yeah, I mean, so I'm not sure how they would necessarily feel about them being
Yeah.
involved. I think they'd be okay with me doing it. And I think my friends would be encouraging about it too. I think they probably would be fine with being on camera, but I mean, again,
True.
yeah, because I don't think that they'd really care, but like my parents, I'm not so sure. So yeah, I think that Taylor and Daniel are probably my new favorite couple. only because I
You
think
don't
that
like Joey and Monica? They're like little golden retrievers.
the guy with like the long, that's the guy with the long.
Yeah.
I do really like them. So,
They're
okay,
boring because there's no drama.
that's the thing. They're just a little boring. I mean,
They're
look,
boring TV.
they're all a little boring. I mean, I think that this season of Love is Blind should really just be rebranded to like Love is Bland. Like, it's just like not, it's just very
Literally.
one note.
The fact that there's neither Meg nor Madison getting a couple is killing me because they were my favorites to watch. Like,
Totally.
give me the stupid drama. Part of my favorite part about Love is Blind is the same reason I love reunions for reality TV shows is I love when they introduce the people who didn't get in a couple and like actually cause the drama, like the triangles or whatever. Like, those are the people I want to see. I don't care about your little honeymoon in Honduras. Like, no, don't care.
No, yeah, totally. So yeah, I mean, I do like them. I love that they're both like quirky and weird
Yeah.
together, and like they
In a
can just like
complimentary way. Like,
totally
Joe and his OCD, I was like, that resonates with me. Hi, are we the same person?
complete. Oh, I get it too, completely. I also think that like this is just like a personal theory that I have, but I think that like dudes that are kind of like nerdy and a little like quirky and weird are always like the kinkiest men. So I feel like Joey's a freak in the sheets, like 100%. Like he's into like weird shit.
Okay.
Yeah. Also because we know that they banged in Honduras.
Right. Right. Who was you've seen the preview when they say like, oh, they banged like 2 days after meeting in the pods. Are they talking about Joey and Monica? Because I feel like they wouldn't be because no one like.
Oh, I don't know
It's
actually.
got to be like it comes out that. So I think it's going to be Ben and Sarah.
Ben and Sarah. Wait.
Ben, the guy who ghosted the girl, and Sarah, the pretty blonde.
Oh.
I think. Do you know what I'm talking about? The teaser that they're like.
Yeah.
2 days after they met.
I thought that it was gonna be what's his name, Dave, talking about Lauren like before the show, being like, oh, I thought it was like I could have misheard being like 2 days before
they went on the show
or something like that.
Okay, so I thought it was 2 days after they met, and it
I
was
could have heard it wrong. I could have heard it wrong. I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, because they didn't preview this episode, and so now I'm like, I need to know.
Yeah, no.
Who's your least favorite?
Well, my least favorite now is probably Lauren and Dave, and that's only because I mean, I guess now we can get into Dave. So
Yeah.
Dave to me is the most toxic man ever. He's literally like what's wrong with men in America today. It's like, first of all, bro, I'm not a virgin. I've had sex with people before you. Okay. My life existed before you. Just because you're going to have a casual fling before you go on Love is Blind, like, does not mean you're not ready for marriage. I mean, in fact, I think it means the opposite. It's like, yeah, I had nothing else better to do. So, like, I'm going to date this dude. Like, who cares? Like, I know he's not my person. He knows I'm not his person. Now I'm going on the show to find my person. You know?
Do you believe the theory that he basically is doing this to try and get out of the relationship? Or do you think he's just so egotistical and narcissistic that like it really truly bothers him to believe that she was like sleeping with a guy a month or two before the show?
I think it's more his ego than anything, because I think like if he wanted to get out of it, like he's had plenty of opportunities.
He's had so many opportunities. Like, I think it's ego. I don't think, because a lot of people have that theory circulating. They're like, oh, he's just trying to get her to break up with him. And it's like, no, I actually just think that like he is that self-absorbed.
Yeah.
Which is wild, but I actually like think that he doesn't understand that. I don't think he understands how he comes across. I also think he feels like he's like tricking us, like tricking the viewers into thinking he's a nice guy. And I'm like I think when he,
I know we've dated that dude. You know what I mean?
No.
It's just
guys who pretend to be nice are the worst. I would rather be a fuckboy than pretend. It's the guys who like love bomb the fuck out of you and then ghost you. Not the guys who are a fuckboy to you and ghost you. It's the ones who are sitting there being like, oh my God, I love you so much. This is amazing. I've never wanted anything else. And then suddenly you're like, what happened?
100%. I feel the exact same way. Like, I'm totally cool dating somebody that's like, at least, yeah, that's like, I'm a douche. I'm like, cool, okay, that's fine, that's great. Like, or I'm not looking for anything serious. Let's just keep this casual. Like, great, like, fine. As long as
I know, at least then I can make the choice with all the information rather than like this.
Like, we're adults.
He's cosplaying as a fucking nice guy, and I hate it.
100%. So I think like he reminds me of the kind of guy that would like ask you your body count. Do you know what I mean? He'd be like, "What's your body count?" And like he would be upset if it was too high, which is so gross because it's just like, who cares? Like I also personally would rather date a man with a high body count because I'm like, at least, yeah, and there's like no FOMO. Like I'm just like, okay, cool. Like you've done the thing. You've like had your fun. You've like had one night stands. Like whatever. Now like you can come into this situation being like content with shit,
Right.
you know?
Right. Now you're good with just like boring sex sometimes. You're good with just like, chilling and staying in. Like not every night needs to be a rager, guys. Not in the bedroom, not out of the bedroom. Like we're good.
Right.
You know what
So
needs to be talked about more is men need to perfect like cuddling sleepy sex. Because I feel like with every man, it turns into this fucking like throw you over, bend you over, perform. And I'm like, dude, I'm tired. Like sex would be fine right now, but like I'm tired.
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that obviously has to do with, I don't know if you can like the P word that rhymes with corn.
Yes. Like,
And I
watch
think,
it, and they're like, it's got to be like it's got to be a movie, and you're like, no, Jesus
yeah,
Christ, just
and I
like,
think a lot of it is like from that, you know, because that's where they like learn from primarily. Which is a whole other conversation, but whatever. But I think right now, Lauren and Dave are my least favorite couple. I think that she needs to drop his ass like so fast, and he does not deserve her. The fact also that he's engaged to her and he's taking hit like it really bothered me when she was just basically or when he was like, I shouldn't have to choose my friends over you, and I'm like, actually, like
yeah,
that's
that's
what
how that
happens.
works.
Like when you have a wife, like if I'm someone's wife, you choose me before fucking anybody. Like I'm sorry. I'm number 1, I'm not number 2, I'm not number 3. Like that's number 1.
Well, I thought it
So
was wild that he picked her because remember the scene where she goes in there and she's like, I don't get it. Are you telling whatever her name is, Molly? There are too many M's. Molly, Mason, Madison, too many M's. Like, are you telling Molly she's your number 1? And first of all, he did tell Molly that. And I really wish, when Bravo does the like, they show back the scene, I really fucking wish Love is Blind would start doing that because he's like, I didn't say that. And I'm like, no, you did, bro. Like, play it back right now.
yeah,
But like, I thought he was going to pick Molly. It seemed clear as day to me that he was going to pick Molly, and suddenly he's just like I don't understand that shift because I do think he would have been a better fit for Molly, Miss Molly, who's never had a boyfriend. He probably loved that.
right.
Does that actually just mean that she slept around for the past 8 years? Sure, I don't give a fuck if that's what she did, but
Right.
like,
And like God bless, like who cares? But I mean, like that's obviously the situation.
well, no, it is. I was like, Lauren, she probably had like 3 serious relationships and like has only had sex with like 5 people. Molly,
Yeah.
do you? Molly, do
Right.
you? But Dave, don't be a hypocritical asshole.
Totally. I definitely agree that him and Molly probably would have been a better fit because I think Lauren is way too mature, just like emotionally mature too. Like she's just so far like out of his depth, and I just cannot believe how she's basically groveling to like be with this man, and like I hate seeing that because it just makes me like it's like my number one like women ick is like begging to be chosen. You know what I mean? And it's like no. Like, you shouldn't have to beg any man to be like, ever. Like, that's just so like, know your worth. You know what I mean? And
It's hard though. Like I get that. And it's also like there's this part, at least for me, it's like you've invested so much at this point. You've gone on the show, you've gotten engaged. It's like if we can get past this fight and it works out, then it was worth it. But like at a certain point, you got to cut the cord. Like after we've had the discussion 10 times and you don't believe anything I'm saying or my friends are saying, and you seem to have this narrative that you're pushing, like, okay, cool.
yeah.
Do you think he's going to get with Molly when he sees Molly?
I don't know if he's gonna well, in the commercial or the preview, it did show how she like texts him, how like he doesn't sleep at home one night. She texts him, goes through his green. So she's like, I assumed his phone was off. This is Lauren texting Dave. So I do kind of think he might have gone home with Molly personally. If he does that, like he's such a loser, but it wouldn't surprise me.
But do you think he'll leave Lauren for Molly? Like not in the hookup sense. I just mean like what was the couple last season? The girl and he like the Apple Watch fiasco, and then he ends up leaving her for the other one.
Yeah.
I see something like that happening.
Yeah, I could totally see that happening too. I don't know if he's gonna leave her for Molly or if he's just gonna like do something shady. But either way, I don't think that they're gonna make it.
They're not gonna make it. Do you think they get married?
No, I don't. I hope they don't get married for Lauren's sake. I mean, my God. Like,
I think any couple gets married. Okay, the only couples I think get married are Devin and Virginia. I think they get married. I don't think they last because she is fucking leaps and bounds out of his league emotionally, financially, attractiveness. Like, I don't know what she saw in him.
agreed.
But I do think they get married because I think she's nice and non-confrontational, and I think it ends in like 6 months. And
Yeah, I agree.
I think Joey and Monica get married, and it mimics that relationship from a couple seasons ago. Johnny and the guy with the long blonde hair who was like kind of nerdy and weird, and they had like that weird contraception conversation because she didn't want to go on contraception, but he like wasn't here. I'm gonna look up his name. Love
I think I know who you're
Love
talking
is Blind, Johnny and Amy. Johnny McIntyre and Amy. He was like kind of a ginger. He was like a blonde ginger.
Yes, okay. This is coming to me now.
Like
Yes,
goofy weirdos, but like
yes.
they worked. They give me Joey and Monica, and I think they'll make it. Those are the only
I
two couples I think make it down the aisle.
Yeah, I think that you're probably right about that. Yeah, no Lauren and Dave. Yeah, Virginia and Devin. Oh, what about Sarah and Ben? You don't think that she's gonna say yes?
Fuck no. Fuck no.
Yeah, I would have bet my money on them
On them.
as number one up until literally the last 10 minutes of this last episode. Like I
Well,
would have been like, oh, they're totally getting married. They're totally in love. Like they seem like great for each other.
yeah.
Although obviously, yeah, there was all the weird shit about him clearly being a borderline. I don't want to, whatever. I don't know, him not knowing about Black Lives Matter. I will just say this. I think in this day and age, and this has been something for me too that I've struggled with going on dates with men, is like, you don't have an excuse to not be informed. Like, if your whole thing is, I don't know enough about it to comment on it, or like, I'm not educated enough to really like say anything,
Sure.
then fucking educate yourself. Like, read an article. Like, it's like,
it's mind-blowing to me because he was just like, I don't want to get involved. It wasn't even just like, I'm not informed. He's just like, I don't get involved in that. And I'm like, must be nice to have so much privilege that you don't have to get involved.
yeah.
Right?
Well, this is also, filmed in Minneapolis,
Minnesota. Yeah.
I don't exactly think it's the most culturally diverse place.
No.
I mean, I've never been, but from what I've seen, I think assume that.
But that irritates me to no end is when guys, specifically guys, white guys, say, they don't get involved in politics. And I'm like, must be nice.
Totally.
Your rights aren't being taken away, so must be fucking nice.
Totally.
On that note, Love is Blind. So they're talking about how Love is Blind, yada, yada, you don't get to see the people. Can we get a fucking normal looking cast? Because no, none of these people are smoke shows, but their batting average is at least like a 7 or higher.
I definitely think as the seasons have gone on that people have gotten better and better looking.
Better looking.
Because, look, from a casting director's standpoint, I could only assume like we want to cast good looking people because we want good looking people on TV. People are going to watch this more if the people are actually attractive. Unless they decided to throw in some which they have never really done. They've never really thrown in someone who's like really overweight or someone who.
What about somebody who has a disability and is missing a leg?
Totally. Or I don't know. There have been, I mean, I don't know. I guess I was going to say like really short men, but like.
Not really.
Not really.
I would love a situation. I would love it to be such a motley mix, but they want drama. Get me Devin. Is that his name? Daniel. Get me Daniel getting engaged to a 6'2" woman.
Right. That's the thing. Like, I'm like, okay, there's that. Well, what's her name is 5'10".
That's Amy.
Crazy. That's not crazy.
Amy. Yeah, Monica.
But, Monica. But yeah, no, most of the women I would say are again like average height. So it's like there's not really any curveballs,
No.
I don't know if they do that intentionally because listen, like let's be real here. Love is not blind. That's just full stop. Like that doesn't.
None of the couples would work if they did that.
Zero. Like I don't care who you are. I don't care how big your heart is. If you walk out of those doors and you are not instantly attracted to the person standing in front of you, I think it's done.
No.
Like it doesn't work.
No.
So that's why they cast attractive people because it's like when the doors open and both people are attractive, they have a better chance of actually working out, you know?
It may not be your type, but they are statistically attractive. Do you believe that rule that says like, if you want to like sleep with someone within the first 5 minutes of meeting them?
So I don't really know. Okay, so here's my thing with that is I just feel like the people that I do want to sleep with in the first 5 minutes of meeting them are not people that they're terrible humans. It's just like
It
It's
is
just
just sexual. That is all it is.
never a good thing. So I'm
no.
I'm not opposed to that, but it's just sort of like I don't think that leads to like necessarily the
A
healthiest relationship.
relationship. No. But I would say, yes, to your point, I think that it can grow, like relationships and feelings and all that can grow. And I think for women, it grows a lot more, right?
Totally.
Like you can grow to be sexually attracted to someone over time. I would say within the first 5 minutes, I know if I want to sleep with someone. Now, could that change over time? Sure.
Yeah.
But like, you're a yes or a no very quickly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm the same way. I think it's just like when I meet you, either like I'm attracted to you or I'm not attracted to you.
Right.
Granted, there have been situations where things like this is rare. I did go on a date with this one guy. The first date, I met him when I was out at a bar. It was like very dark in the bar, and he was attractive, but like it was so dark and like dimly lit. And when I saw him on our first date, I was like, whoa, like this is so not who I remember.
Remember seeing?
Yeah. However, on our second date, I was like, okay. And then by our third date, I was like, I'm down. But like
Hey, so we got more attractive over time. Yeah.
totally. And that can happen, but that is rare.
Yeah, no, I get that. Circling back to us talking about politics and the BLM and whatever his name is. Did you see the TikTok from the girl? She lives in LA. She does like dating content, and she was talking about how she ghosted a guy because she saw him walking on the date wearing a MAGA hat.
Yes, I saw that.
Would you ghost the guy? Would you go in? Because I know what I'd do, and I'm really curious what you'd do.
I don't know if I'd have the balls to ghost him, to be honest. Like, I don't
Right.
know if I would just not show up for the date. I think maybe what I would do is I'd go on the date and I probably would troll the shit out of him on the date.
That's what I'd do. I'd go and I'd just be like, it'd be interrogation zone,
Yes.
and I'd love it.
I would just go off. Like, I'd be like, so, like, do you
know about abortion? Let's start there.
Right. I would be like, let's just get into that, like, off the bat. But I mean, good for her. Like, seriously,
Yeah.
that's just.
But I also like when I was single, like I got to a point, like for a while there, I was in the trenches and I was like sad and I wanted every guy to be my husband. And then I got like something happened where I like flipped the script and suddenly I was just like every date is like a bit. And I was just having so much fun because I was like, why do I care? Like, let's make this all an enjoyable show. And it was so much more fun. I would ask wild things and then just look at me uncomfortably and I'd be like, okay, sucks.
Yeah. I think like, you get to a point where you just don't give a shit anymore. Because you're just like, this is just ridiculous, you know?
So I can actually
totally understand that. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I definitely think it would be, I don't necessarily think I have to have the exact same political views as someone. Like, I think there are levels to things, right? Like, there's a way to be conservative and not a Trumper. If you are a Trumper, that's a different category of man.
Right. It's a different category of Republican. Also, there's a big difference for me between a 2016 Trumper, a 2020 Trumper, and a 2024 Trumper.
100%.
They're not the same. If you're a 2016 Trumper, I don't love it, but you didn't know.
Fair.
You know, and you might, like, Hillary Clinton was not the most palatable publicly. So,
I agree.
I can at least understand. If you're a 2020 Trumper, you're crazy. If you're a 2024 Trumper, you're actually just a terrible person.
Correct. Yeah. I think that's how it goes. That's the trajectory for me as well. So it's literally like, so, you know, I think that it would be very hard though to date somebody who, again, you don't align on a lot of stuff. Like someone who goes to church every Sunday and like you're not religious, that would probably be problematic for me. You know?
The problem with religion is it also impacts so many other areas. It impacts your beliefs on conception. It impacts your beliefs on like schooling. It impacts your beliefs on so many other areas. It's not just, do you go to church on Sundays or not? It's like, I don't believe in abortion. I think a fetus is an embryo. I don't believe in birth control. I don't think sex is something for pleasure. It's like, suddenly you're like, fuck, this actually impacts so many aspects.
Yeah, totally. So, you know, that's the fact that I think, what's her name? Sarah? I always forget her name. Sarah. Sarah could just like be cool with Ben. I think having very different, I don't want to say like that, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but them being fundamentally kind of different in a lot of regards, that's very problematic.
Sure. Family with kids in that situation is also hard for me because
totally.
Yeah, it's just like, well, so have you read all the Reddit threads or the gossip about Ben just outside of the ghosting? Like just basically that he's a terrible human being who was like a player all over Minnesota?
Yeah, I've seen, like, some of the rumors and stuff like that, and again, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not saying I don't believe them, but also I do think that it's like everyone has a past, right? Like, I think for dudes too, like,
Different.
things can change really quickly. Like, you could be a total hoe, and then literally it's like the
Back to
cab.
life. Yeah.
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 It's like
Light went off.
exactly, like, your light goes off, and you're like, "Okay,
Right.
I'm not fucking around anymore," and now you're committed. You know what I
Wait,
mean?
can we talk about the fact that he only washes his hair every 2 weeks?
That's disgusting.
That is asinine. Like, I don't like showering, and that is asinine to me.
Like, I go multiple days without washing my hands, sits up in a bunch a day,
Right.
but
2 weeks and you're
2
working
weeks?
out?
Dude, how does your hair not smell? Like, that's just
But
disgusting.
also you're a guy, you don't even have to do it. Like, you have no
Right.
excuse.
Like, you can use a two-in-one, not that I condone that, but I'm just
But,
saying,
like, you have no
what
excuse.
you gotta do, like,
Well, he said that, and then also, what is up with his weird little mustache, goatee, facial hair situation?
maybe he's just one of those guys who can't really grow facial hair, and
I
it's
think
just, like,
so, but instead of just, like,
scraggly.
shaving it all, he has just, like, the scraggly, like he creeps me out more than any of them. I just find him to be so, like he's always smiling.
Yeah.
It gives very much like he reminds me of, like, the Jehovah's Witness boys who would, like, come to your door and, like, sell you the books.
We don't have a lot of those, in West Hollywood, but I mean, but yeah, I've heard.
It gives me door-to-door, like, knife salesman vibes, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not into it. He also
No.
gives me the vibes that, like, he's never gone down on a woman and, like, given her pleasure, but, like, he's gone down there and, like, laughed a lot and smiled while doing it and, like, told you how much he enjoyed it, but, like, nothing good came of it. Mm-mm. He
I
makes me
mean, I didn't get as big of an ick from him that you did, but I see it. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely could see how people could
Who
see.
would you pick out of all of them? Well, it's hard to do because we've known what they look. I think they should do Love is Blind, but we can't see them. I would love a podcast Love is Blind.
Yeah, so I was actually thinking, like, I was like, what if, like, one season I blindfolded myself while I watched Love is Blind, so I actually couldn't see what
Yeah.
anyone looked like who would I choose based on their personalities?
Wait, I would love to do that. I'll do it next season with you. I would
Okay,
love
let's
to
do
do
it.
that.
Because I just,
Yeah.
like, am so curious. Because,
Yeah.
again, it's so hard because we see them, you know? Like,
Right.
physically, I think, again, one of the hottest guys I thought was Mason, who was
Oh, he's
between
beautiful.
super hot.
I
And
also didn't think what he did with Meg and Madison was that weird. Like, I don't know why everyone was making such a big deal out of it. He wasn't playing them. You're on a show to date multiple women.
yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that wasn't great was, like, he did tell Madison that, like, he was fully committing to her. Like, he
Right.
did say that.
Sure.
And then when he was talking to her, he did take it back.
Took it
Now,
back.
would he have taken it back if he knew that she was choosing him?
No.
Right, because
No, he did it just to save his ass because he was going to go because he was aware that he was going after Meg and he didn't want Meg to watch this and be like,
I was the second choice.
yeah, exactly. Like, he did it very
Because
strategically, obviously.
she was number 2, right? So
Right.
Meg was number 2 and Madison was number 1.
I still don't understand why Meg didn't choose him, though. She was obsessed with him. Her ego got in the way. She was suddenly like, I can't be someone's number 2. And it's like, no, we're all someone's number 2 until we're not.
Fair. I think for her, I mean, and it would probably be, I don't know, like, maybe a tough pill for me to swallow too, to be like, well, are you only choosing me
Because both of them didn't.
because you know you can't have her now? Do you know what I mean?
Sure, but I guess my perspective is I'd be like, let's say yes, let's go on the trip to Honduras. Let's be engaged for 4 weeks. I'm not out anything. I've already committed this far. I
True.
still don't have to say yes to the altar, right? But,
Right.
like, let me get to know you. Let me see if this plays out. This is a highly stressful environment for all of us. Maybe he said something on the, spur of the moment. Like, the fact that she left without even seeing him is wild to me because I think if she'd seen him, and I do think he was, like, fairly emotionally mature, I feel like they would have worked out.
Well, I think that they do work out because in the preview they show them walking and holding hands together. So they get back together. They obviously
Yeah.
get back together.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think that she could have saved herself probably a whole lot of grief had she just put her ego aside and given him a shot.
I also think she derailed. Like, she was so cute and funny in the first few episodes and, like, flirty, and then she just started fucking spiraling. I don't want it to be like, lock it down, girl, lock it down.
I think she started spiraling because of Madison. I think that Madison was like, he's a liar, like, do what you want, but
he's like, what do you think about Madison?
I think she's diabolical. Like, she's the kind of person, first of all, when I first saw her, I actually really liked her, but it was very clear to me, like, I was like, okay, wow, like, she definitely has a lot of baggage. I don't like saying baggage because, like, look, we all have bullshit.
Sure.
We all have family trauma, like, whatever, right?
He was using it, though.
It was a lot, and I was like, "Is she actually, like, honestly," and I'm not saying this in a mean way, but, like, is she actually, like, okay with, like, what's happened to her in her past? Because
Yeah.
it's a lot that's happened to her
Lots.
in her past.
Yeah.
And I just got the sense that, like, she wasn't fully
Ready.
healed from
Yeah.
all of that, and then I definitely kinda felt like she was using her trauma as, like, a manipulation tactic with these
Yeah.
dudes, and again, that's not to say that, like, her trauma, what she went through isn't valid, of course, like, it is, but, like, I don't know, I just didn't like, and I also didn't love the conversation between her and Alex, how she was like, I don't know, how, like, that whole conversation went down, but it was also kinda bad on Alex's part too, because I would want him to choose my side too,
Right.
so, like, I kinda
Right.
get where she was coming from
I
with
get where
that.
she's coming from, but she kind of pushed on it, pushed on it. It's like he said his piece, like, let's move on.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have worked out. The moment the two of them saw each other, we know that wasn't gonna work. So, like, I'm kind of glad. I mean, it would have been really fun TV to watch, but I think they wouldn't have even made it to Honduras. Like, I think she would have taken one look and turned the fuck around.
Really? Because I thought he was really cute,
I did
but
too, but that girl ain't. She had a huge dollar
yeah,
bills, no, like plate-sized tattoo on her stomach and
I
pierced
definitely
nipples.
yeah, that was also, like, aggressive how she just was came out and said that, like, I was like, "Oh,
Well,
okay,"
I
and,
also
like
thought it was weird that she kept on being so sexual with Mason, and then with everyone else, whenever they would talk about that, she'd be like, I don't really want to talk about that. Like, I didn't like. I went to church a lot, like all this stuff, and I'm just like, bro, like you're playing this weird Virgin Mary Madonna complex thing. I don't
it's
really like.
weird.
Like you went
Yeah,
to church camp, you didn't lose your virginity till you were 22, but your nipples are pierced, and
yeah,
you,
and you like cream pies.
right,
She
which,
said it,
like, right, which like that was just like hard to watch, like
and when he
hard.
gave her the cream pie,
When she broke up with him,
I
you
was
know
like,
production told him to do that. You know production would be like, was like, this will be really funny. This will be really funny.
the fact that she broke up with him in front of the cream pie was honestly just, like, to me,
And
the
didn't take
highlight
a bite of it. Didn't take a bite of it.
no, highlight of the whole season. Like, I was just like, "Wow, okay."
Also, she dyes her hair pink.
Like, I mean, I thought that she was actually really pretty, like, before the
Yeah.
pink hair. The pink hair is, like, a lot for me, and it's
Well,
an interesting choice. I
the
had
eyeliner though, her eyeliner was on point. I really wanted to be like, what do you use? Can you please drop the eyeliner?
totally I think that she's a beautiful girl. I just think that, like, she has some shit that she needs to work on, and I didn't like how she like, I don't know, it was kinda weird that she was giving Mason a lot of shit for playing 2 girls when she
When
was
she's doing the
doing the
exact
exact same
same
thing.
thing. Yeah.
Like, she waited until the very last minute, like, she waited until Alex was like, "I want you to be my girlfriend, let's lock it down," before she ended things with Mason, which is fair, I would've done the same thing too. I would've wrote them both out until one locked it down too, you know what I mean? I don't blame the girl, but
But
I
she
was just like
1000% is
but I'm like,
hypocritical.
how can you be mad at him for doing the sa like, you just
Yeah.
did that, you know? I don't know.
Well, right. No, 1000%. I don't love that I mean, it made for great TV, but I don't love that the girls talked in their
Yeah,
little like lounge area. The guys, I felt like were much more respectful about that because anyway it ends up, you're going to have dated multiple people and it just felt very like we don't like let's not discuss it. Like I appreciated that the guys didn't. I would love if Madison had gotten with like Dave because I feel like that would have been epic to watch her just tear him fucking apart.
and it would've just been so toxic, like, in
Would
the
have been
best
so
possible
toxic.
it would've
And I'm
been
like, look, I hate Dave, so like let's fucking go.
yeah, that would have been, like, insane television.
I
Yeah,
wonder sometimes why production doesn't like push stuff like that.
well, I guess in this situation, they really can't, right? Without it
Right.
being like but I don't know, I think that they definitely need to work on casting just more interesting people because this was and again, I love Love is Blind, like, I really do love the show, and it's a
Right.
very cool concept, but, like, this season was so hard to get through. The first 3 episodes, I was literally like, "I don't know if I can do" like, I literally was almost gonna text you and be like, "Dude, I don't know if I can commit to
If I could
this."
do it.
Like, this is so boring.
We didn't need 6 episodes in the pods. We
No.
need like 4. I don't need
Yeah,
6.
it was just really rough. So I think that they just need to, like, I don't know, cast more interesting people, but again, and I don't this is maybe gonna sound bad, but, like, maybe it's harder to find those big personalities in these
Minnesota. Yeah.
smaller, extremely white cities, you
I would
know, like,
love for them to do New York or LA. Like I would love
I would
like the cast that you would get from one of those cities, you'd have to you're like pick of the litter, and it wouldn't just be diverse in terms of race, but it would be diverse in terms of race, diverse in terms of background, diverse in terms of money, diverse in terms of career, diverse in terms of what there's so many transplants. You get so many people who live in LA, but like grew up in Arkansas or wherever and might have these like home values, but then they're now in LA.
Yeah.
I don't know why they haven't done it, to be fair.
I think probably just because like it wouldn't work, because like we're all just so like, I mean, again, like I said, if I walked out and I wasn't attracted to the dude, it would be dead on arrival. Like I just.
But if they
like,
picked all attractive people,
right, like, and I think especially in a city like LA, there's literally like only attractive people here. Like, it's very rare that I see an ugly person like walking on the street. Like, it's not. I mean, everyone.
Sometimes I go on road trips and I'll be like in some random town and I'll be like, oh, this is what normal America looks like.
Right, you're like, wow, like
I'm conditioned to even the like most unattractive person in my Pilates class is still like a solid like 7 or 8.
Correct. So like so I wish that they would do that here. I also just think it would be fascinating just because, again, like we're so used to like stalking people on Instagram and like looking at all these things about them, so I would love it if they did that, but I don't know, because originally I was like, oh, maybe it's just like too expensive to film in those cities, but apparently it's all filmed in Santa Clarita.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they just have the plot, which makes sense. Like, I didn't know this until this season, but I guess it's all filmed in like this, backlot studio, whatever, in Santa Clarita, and they just fly everybody in and like house them there and like whatever. So I was like, okay, like
the Love is Blind compound.
Literally, like it's the compound. So it's like the Bachelor house. You know what I mean? It's like same thing.
I also love the fact that like as the episodes go on, their clothes gets more and more unhinged. Like episode 1, they're in like first date outfits, but no one's seeing it obviously, but they're like playing it up for the cameras, right? By the time we're at like the last pod episode, they're in literal sweatpants with a blanket over their head. And
that was me too. Like first day I'd be like looking all cute. Last day it would be like, hey, he showered? Like, is she?
And I love the way that they keep on like showing us all the food because of the lawsuit. And they're like, do you see all the food?
Oh my God, I know. It's so funny. It was like,
so much good food.
Get it, okay?
Do you think it's weird that Dave asked everybody if they'd had sex? Do you think that was acceptable?
No. So I mean, again, I'm not someone that gets offended very easily, and I love that he asked it for the viewers because we all want to know, right?
And he asked the guys and the girls. I also thought that was interesting. He wasn't just asking the guys.
No, he was asking everyone. And like, would that question offend me? No, because again, like,
but I also might lie. Like,
but I definitely was like, okay, so clearly he's upset that he's not having sex and he needs validation from other people to tell
him not either. Yeah.
Because that was very clear to me. And something else that I've kind of noticed, especially this season, is that I think that, and maybe this is in the past seasons too, but I think that in this season, especially, the women have been more hesitant than the men. So it's like, the women have been the ones less attracted to the men. The women have been the ones that need more time to like have sex, whatever. Like, it's just interesting because I think we always just assume that like men are much more like visual people than women. But I don't know if that's true. I mean, like, you saw it on what's her name? The girl who's dating Daniel, Taylor. It's on Taylor's face when she came out and she saw Daniel. And like,
I do truly like him. And he would be the guy who literally, if you told him in bed, like he wasn't doing something right, he'd be like, okay, I'm going to go read some books and like figure it out.
Oh, this man wants to please, like 100%.
Yeah.
Like, he's a giver.
He's a sweet baby angel. Like,
totally.
I adore him. I don't know that I hope he works out with her. She's whatever. Has she been on a show before? Does she look really familiar to you?
She looks extremely familiar to me, but I mean, again, she kind of just reminds me of like all the like
Bachelor contestants.
Yeah, and like the Mormon like hair.
I've been trying to find out where I know her face from, because when I saw her, I immediately was like, I've seen you on TV before.
She does look very familiar. But I will say that. But yeah, so I don't know. I think that it is for the women. Like, if they're not really instantly attracted to you, it's gonna take them a long time to warm up to like wanting to sleep with you. Whereas men are just kind of like, yeah, whatever, like, let's get it in. Right. You know what I mean? They don't really seem to care.
Yeah. Well, so
that's interesting.
Boyfriend made an interesting comment the other day, which I thought made sense. He said, you have to remember that like women will go on dates with like this many people, like 1,000 people or whatever, but they'll only sleep with like 100 of them. but they'll go on the dates because they don't have to plan the dates. They don't have to pay for the dates, whatever. So some guy who they're not that interested in, they'll go on the date with, right? But there's a smaller pool of people they'll actually sleep with. Guys are the exact opposite. They'll sleep with a large pool of people, but the people that they're going to spend money on, plan dates for, et cetera, is much smaller. So it becomes this weird, interesting like Venn diagram of overlap, like to find your match or whatever. And so I feel like similarly here, like I feel like all the girls are, if they get asked to be married, they're going to say yes. Like
Right.
you're going to go to Honduras, you're going to get 4 weeks to figure the guy out, everything's paid for, yada. There's no reason to say no, but it doesn't mean you necessarily want to sleep with them, which I think is really weird. Whereas for the guys, like they're probably only asking if they think they would bang the other person.
Right. Totally.
Which like,
and I think that that's probably one of the reasons why maybe Dave's been so
Lauren are struggling. Yeah.
Because they're not having sex. And I think that he's pissed about it. At least I don't think they've had sex up until this point.
No. Would you have sex?
Oh yeah. I mean, like
would you wait till, like, how long would you wait, theoretically? If you liked the guy, you were interested in the guy, how long would you wait?
Well, I don't know, because in this situation, like, we're engaged. I mean, I would be like,
what are we stopping? I feel like if I was into him, I'd be night one, because it's like, I'm getting married to you in 4 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. Like, for me, like, I honestly be like, well, you're literally my fiance. So, like, this is kosher. Like, we should be having sex.
Yeah.
And, like, to me, that's something that is extremely important. Like, if you don't have that kind of chemistry, like, you should find that out sooner rather than later.
Yeah. What do you think about the prenup conversation?
Okay, so like I think it, and this is another one of my pet peeves. It drives me crazy when people are again not educated about prenups. It's like such small mindset like mentality. Like I'm like, guys, having a prenup is not a big deal. Like if a guy asked me to sign a prenup, no problem. Obviously, I would look it over and probably negotiate a bunch of shit. But like, what?
I don't understand. I literally don't understand people's issue with prenups. It is never going to come into play unless it's needed.
Right. I don't think it's weird at all. And I think it's like smart to protect your assets. And I think it was like a totally mature conversation that they had about money. And I was just like, okay. The fact that his family's like all weirded out about it, I'm like, this again just shows to me like small town mentality. It's just like, you guys, having a prenup is not a bad thing. It's not a weird thing. It's a normal thing. Like, I don't think it's strange at all.
But you're also protecting yourself in that situation.
Totally.
Like, that's what I don't think people always understand is it's like, I just think Virginia is so far out of his league in terms of just like intelligence on every level. Like, because she's doing it so calmly. The way she's having the conversation is so calm. I also thought, going back to that, I don't love Devin. Devin's conversation with what's her face, can't remember her name. The other girl
who came out as queer, who said she was,
Yeah. That really, it is such a like internalized misogynistic way to be, to love watching two women kiss at a bar, to love the idea of a threesome, to think women are hot if they make out with their friend or whatever, but then to have an issue with the fact that she's hooked up with girls in her past. I have such a problem with that.
I don't know. I don't know if I feel the same way, only because if the situation were reversed,
right,
it would probably bother me. And like, look, I'm a very open person,
right?
But if I was, and I've dated a man that was bisexual before.
I thought I've dated a woman. I was like, is this your coming out episode?
No, we can talk about that too. But no, but I mean, I did date a guy who was bisexual, and like I gotta say, like, there was always something in the back of my mind where I was just like, would I be enough for him long term?
Right.
Because it's like, look, if you like, you know, apples and bananas, like I
don't got one.
I can only give you one of those. So like, that's all I can offer you.
Yeah.
Not a problem if you like both, but like, if we're talking like we're going to be together for the rest of our lives, like, would you be cool with never seeing a banana ever again, you know?
Okay, so you took that conversation that way. I thought it was more like he just didn't like that she'd been with girls. You took it like he was insecure and like validly insecure because he felt like he wasn't going to be able to satisfy her.
Or maybe he wasn't going to be enough for her. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know what he was thinking. That's how I would feel about it.
That makes more sense. I understand that better. Because I thought he was just like basically being judgy and was like judging her. And I was like, I don't know. I don't love that.
And he totally might have been. I mean, maybe he was, freaked out or like homophobic or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. And if that's the case, then obviously that's super lame. But like, she was also saying that she was she's been in relationships with women. It's not just like she's hooked up with girls, because I feel like, I don't know. I don't really think that's that big of a deal.
It used to be my party trick. I'd make out with my best friend at every bar I was at. I don't know why. I thought it was a great idea. Making out's fun.
But I mean, to be in a full-fledged relationship with a woman, I mean, again, that just takes it to another level. So I just think it's kind of like I don't know if I would be okay dating a man that told me that.
No, and that's a really good point, because that's my own internalized stuff, because I'm saying it's okay for women, but like I also probably wouldn't have been comfortable with guys. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And I think especially in LA, like there's so much fluidity that I also just have like, it's become very normalized for me.
Yeah, for sure.
But
again, I think
point of it being depends like on Minnesota. It's
totally.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think it probably depends on the person. It depends on the situation. Like, I don't know. There's a spectrum, right? There's a spectrum, as we know. So it's
on a spectrum.
Well, I don't know. So it's like sort of depends like where you hit on the spectrum.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, so I didn't love his reaction to that, but obviously, like I could. I mean, I get it. Yeah. That part. So yeah, but I'm glad that she at least recognized, like she was just like immediately, like based on his reaction, like she was like, this person is not right for me. And I was like, no, he's not. Like, you know what I mean? Like his reaction did tell me he's not cool with that and she should not be with him, because you shouldn't be with anyone that makes you feel shitty about like your life choices, you know? So.
Okay, next question. What are your thoughts on Nick and Vanessa as the host? Do you want to replace them? If you were going to replace them, who would you replace them with? I can't stand Nick Lachey. Nick Lachey, like, nails on a chalkboard for me.
I really, really hate Nick and Vanessa. I also don't understand why, after this is season 8, Vanessa still doesn't have like a good wardrobe stylist. Like, why does she look like crap every episode? There's no excuse for it.
So hot.
She's so pretty, and I'm just like, I don't understand what you're wearing. Like, why are you doing this? Like, what are you doing? So that bothers me. I don't think that they add anything to the conversation. I would love to bring back Chris Harrison. I'm a diehard Chris Harrison stan.
Oh my God. Wow. I can't believe he just got canceled off that one situation with Rachel Lindsay. That's insane to me, because there's been so much worse by so many others.
Totally. I just think obviously at the time, you know, that was
timing was everything. It was like what, 2021? I think it was like right. Okay, I don't mind. I don't love Chris Harrison. I don't mind him. He's fine. I love Andy Cohen, but I don't think Andy Cohen could do Love is Blind. Trying to think who else I would love. I also don't like, I get they're trying to have like a happy couple, like do it, but I don't think it needs to be a couple. I want it to be someone who just kind of like ask tougher questions in general. Just like ask more interesting questions, like dig under the surface a little bit. I feel like they just kind of like, what's it called? Like dial it in. Like I feel like they dial in their role as host.
Yeah, I do too. You know who I think would also be really good? I don't necessarily always love him. Sometimes I love him, sometimes I hate him, but Nick Viall I think would be really good.
Yes, that's a great suggestion. He's interesting. Do you listen to his podcast?
I do. And like, again, obviously with the whole Blake and Ryan thing, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, clearly I disagree with him completely on that. And I don't always agree with Nick, but I do think that he asks really good questions.
Good interview.
And having come from the reality TV world, done The Bachelor like what, 3, 4 times? I don't even know how many times he did that whole thing. He gets it. So it's like he would know, like, you know, even like, not necessarily like him and Wells, but I love Wells. I don't know if you ever.
I'm obsessed with Wells. Wells is good energy.
Like that was such a miss on like ABC to like not do something with Wells. Like Wells is just like, he's so good at it, you know? It's like
the bartender of Bachelor in Paradise. It was like, I feel like they tried him there to see if it was going to work, and it did. And it was like, and then they just left him there and did not capitalize on everyone's obsession with him. Like,
like snoozing on Wells.
Literally. And he's like with an A-list celebrity. Like,
totally. Who's obsessed with reality TV. So actually, if they did Sarah Hyland and Wells and they hosted Love is Blind, that would be epic. Because I actually think that like, because she is like a reality TV like fanatic.
Right.
And I don't know. I would sign up for that for sure.
I think that would be adorable. And I also think that their humor is a lot more quirky and funny and like wittier, and just not fucking married 45-year-olds Yeah, I can pass on Nick and Vanessa. And now that they're also doing the ultimatum and they've got like multiple shows, I can pass on them both.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I have
Final thoughts. Final thoughts on Love is Blind.
one of the things that I didn't talk about was what's her name? No. Was it Sarah? No, Monica. Monica's sister.
Don't love. Not a
I
fan.
was watching that and I was just like, the fact that her sister blatantly said, I'm upset that you're getting, like, it should be me getting married first because
Yeah.
I'm older or whatever. I was like, girl,
Get out of here. Literally get out
that's
of here.
someone who has your back. Like, this is someone who was just so jealous. And then even he called it out. Joey was just basically like, I sense that there's maybe some jealousy going on there that like
Right.
she needs. And I was like, yeah, dude. Like, that's what's going on here. Because to me, anyone that can hang with her family and like play the instrument and like do the dance and like whatever, like I was like, wow, that's a team player.
Yeah.
So the fact like he was able to do that and like the sister still gave him shit, I was just like, that's not
Mm-mm.
that doesn't land well for me.
Mm-mm. I love a significant other who's down. Who like whatever your family's weird quirk is, whatever their weird tradition is, like they're down. Because my mom has some quirks, my dad has some quirks, and like I need a guy who I can bring home who doesn't judge, doesn't like just rolls with the punches. And he's such golden retriever roll with the punches energy that I just like, come on.
Yeah, totally.
Life.
But yeah, I don't know. I think my final thoughts are just like, I wish that this season was more interesting. I think this season, not to sound whatever, but lacked seasoning. You know what I mean? It was just
Taste.
it just needed
Enjoyability.
a lot more spice. We needed a lot more flavor. Like there aren't any couples that I'm obsessed with. Do you know what I mean? Where I feel like in the past I've been like really rooting for people.
Yep.
Don't feel that way this season.
I also have a belief that reality shows generally are best about seasons 1 through 5. And then whoever is cast, it doesn't matter. They know the gig. It's taken off. People are obsessed. And now they're trying to get clout. They're trying to get followers, yada, yada. If you sign up for a reality show, seasons 1 or 2, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what the edit's going to look like. You don't know how it plays out. Yeah, you might want clout, but you're also taking a risk. The first few seasons of Vanderpump, the first few seasons of Southern Charm, and then it becomes this overly produced machine, and it just doesn't work anymore. And I think we're starting to get to that point where it just doesn't work anymore.
I completely agree. And you're right. That's what's happened with so many of like my favorite shows, especially Southern Charm, where it's just like, man, those first seasons where we were really in the South. Like, I mean, there was some crazy shit that we saw on screen.
Like Thomas Ravenel, like
crazy.
Catherine Dennis and Thomas Ravenel, like, are you kidding me? Catherine Dennis at like 21 in the bar, like that was insanity.
No, that season will live in my head rent free. Like honestly, like I was just like, how do you compete with that? Like it's just like you don't, and they haven't been able to. Like it's just now the show is a watered down version of what it used to be, and it's just not.
They throw in like what's his name, JD, Vanita, like nobody cares, don't care.
No.
Like
so yeah, I agree, but we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that at least a couple of these people make it down the aisle. And
I'm just excited for the reunion. That's all I want to see.
You and me both. The reunion is the best part. So,
I'm gonna hit stop, but don't hang up yet. Don't go anywhere.